welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. From one of the minds that brought you Return to Newcomb High, The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, and more, including Street Trash, coming to Liberty Hall on Saturday, March 8th. Please welcome producer Matt Mangiarides. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. I'm very excited to have you on the show. The first thing I actually wanted to say, Matt, was your IMDb picture. No notes. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's from an unreleased short film.
It really brings the horror fan out of you, I believe.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of wanted to start. You've been a love for horror movies. You know, what brought you to be a producer of kind of wild titles such as Another Yeti, A Love Story, Life on the Streets, Eight Eyes, Subspecies 5, Blood Rise, and so much more?
I actually started after a couple of years at the college. I started working for a indie company in New York called Troma Entertainment, and ended up producing some of their some films for them, including Father's Day and The Return to Newcomb High, Volume 1. And that's where my producing partner, Justin Martell, and we went off and started producing our own films. And we did Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, which is entering its 8th season on AMC and Shudder. And we did Eight Eyes, which is a film we shot in Serbia. We shot about 5 or 6 movies in Europe, and for AMC, Shudder, RLJ, and Tubi, and so forth. And Street Trash, we shot in South Africa, actually, on 35, and that's getting its theatrical run right now, which is great. I'm glad a lot of people can experience it, and hopefully, I think there's a double in Kansas. So you get the original and the new version.
Yes. And okay, so being a producer, you get to bring your vision of horror to the silver screen. What's your kind of opinion on the rest of the horror genre right now?
It's interesting. I mean, I think the studios have sort of backed themselves into a corner when they eliminated physical media, because that used to fund these sort of middle of the road movies, these sort of $2 to $5 to $6 million action movies, your Van Damme, your Dolph Lundgrens, and those sort of movies have gone away since they got rid of physical media. So now you either have really low budget movies, which horror is the only genre that really can be made on a super low budget, because you don't need a star, you don't need big set pieces, you just need a good idea and to execute it somewhat well, and you can have a good horror movie. And nobody's really making money on streaming, so the budgets just get lower and lower, and it's either super low budget or a $200 million movie that's getting made now. So the resurgence, I think, comes out of the fact that those are the only movies that can really be made. And it's luckily we've had some good ones. And the fact that theaters don't have, I think, enough content to really do everything. So they have to sort of do it. And you get these big runs like Terrifier 3, gets a really good theatrical run. You get these horror movies that get really good theatrical runs because there isn't a lot of good content out there, because the studios sort of shot themselves in the foot.
And so, do you think, I guess, the audience is craving that kind of middle content, really? Because I mean, for instance, you said Last Drive-In's hitting season 8 now. I would assume that there's an audience there waiting for something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about the horror genre is that people like to experience the extremes together. They like the communal experience, and horror lends itself to that. You can be scared together, you can scream at scenes, you can get the jump scares together, and that's what our show brings together. Our fan base is very, very active on social media, and it's a reason why we haven't really lost any fans even from our first season. Our retention rate is probably unheard of in most shows that have gone on for multiple seasons. I mean, we've not really lost anybody, because they like hanging out. Our hosts, Joe Bob and Darcy, are very interactive with the fans. They communicate with them online. They do watch parties. Our past episodes have a huge replay value. In fact, our past episodes outrank some of the newest content on AMC and Shudder, because people just keep going back and watching the old episodes because they just like to have that feeling. They set up watch parties and invite other people to them, and they just rewatch everything together. I mean, it's about experiencing it as a group.
That is amazing. I love to hear that. As a horror fan, it's great to for producers and creators like you who are still bringing that love into the genre. It's amazing. So let's talk a little bit of Street Trash now. It's coming to Liberty Hall on Saturday as a double feature with the 1987 version. What are people about to get themselves into?
I mean, we've had you're either gonna walk out in the first 2 minutes or you're gonna stay for the whole thing. So we've had people who can't handle it. It's just a fun time. It's nothing. It's not necessarily gory, but it's over the top with special effects. We wanted to make sure that it's sort of a multicolor splatterfest of fun. It goes from sort of a horror movie into an action movie, and we don't pull any punches with it, and we just want to have fun. We just wanted it to be a good ride for the audience.
For our viewers, tell us what's Street Trash about. What's the story?
Basically, even though we've developed it for 8 years, it's been unfortunately become more and more apt with today's society. But it's basically, there's a big homeless problem, and the government decides to literally liquidate the homeless problem by trying to gas them and this gas melts the homeless problem away, and they're able to just go in and wash away the homeless problem, and the homeless band together and fight back against their tyrannical government officials.
So if fans, they go to Lawrence, go to Liberty Hall to go watch Street Trash, what's next for them? What should they be watching out for you next, or what would you recommend?
Well, this Friday we have our season premiere of The Last Drive-In on Shudder and AMC Plus. So keep out a look. We have Spencer Charnas, the lead singer of Ice Nine Kills, as our guest. We're doing a special tribute to a horror film that just had its 100th anniversary. And after that, we've done some movies for Tubi that are going to be coming out, and you can pick up Street Trash, the new version of Street Trash, on a beautiful limited edition Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome, along with some of our other films that we've shot on film, Eight Eyes and Black Eyed Susan.
Wonderful. I think I saw a link to Street Trash, the DVD, over at Liberty Hall, their website. So, yeah, definitely want to get my hands on that one if I can't go see the movie on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you, and I'm very excited for the double feature coming to Liberty Hall. And everyone, please do not miss Street Trash double feature Saturday night at Liberty Hall. Matt, thank you again.
Thank you.